Hi guys, we're just getting ready to finish the home recording studio in East London, the 4 metre by 3 metre build. We've got a couple of days in the workshop. Thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a different video to start with, and that is just to show you some of the things that we actually do in the workshop before we actually get on site to finish. We've got a few things to do, like the acoustic panels. So these are the frames that we use, which are made out of 2x1 battens. We've got the corner bass traps, you can just see there. Let me just turn the camera around. This is our internal window, which has got 3 double glazed units in. We've already put that together. That involves quite a lot of cleaning with alcohol. So that's got 3 layers in there, and that just means we can slot it in when we get onto the job. This is the frame, the architrave that goes around it. What we started doing recently is actually putting this together before we go, so we can glue the joins, give it a good sand and paint. This is the acoustic fabric. This one's Laura, L-O-R-A, with Chimera Cara fabric, which is acoustically transparent. It's a sort of greeny blue, I guess. That's going to go on those panels, so we'll do that later on. We've got the doors, which we've made. So we've got an outside door here, and then we've got an inside door there. So these are just being filled in with some 2-part filler. So we need to sand those down, router out for the handles. These have all been routed out, ready for the locks and stuff. We've got these seals, which we make on our table saw there. So these need the painting and then the seals actually putting in. We've got our door frames, which go with the doors. What we generally do is mark and pilot hole where the hinges are going to go. We've got 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. And then obviously we router out our latch plate here as well. That means when we get on site, we can just slot the door in, and it's already kind of set up, so it makes it a little bit easier. We've also got quite a lot going on, actually. This is our box, which the fan fits into. So actually, Jacob generally makes these. This is out of OSB. So this, quite simple. It's just a waterproof box, which has got sort of roofing felt on, which is waterproof. And this sits in the metal cladding that we have on the back, and then the fan sits on the wall and then sits in there basically, and we have a fan vent at the bottom. So I just need to put that on, which is one of these fan grills. So the other thing we need to do is paint all the skirting board and other architrave and corner pieces. So we're kind of quite far on, to be fair, even though it seems like we've got a lot to do. So we'll bring you guys back once a bit further on, but I think what I'm going to start with is sanding the doors and getting those prepped. I think PJ's on his way down with some breakfast, so we might catch up with him in a little bit. So we'll bring you guys back once we're a bit further on. The first thing we're going to do is get the doors on the bench. We're going to give them a bit of a sand, then we'll start cutting out the holes for the handles and stuff. Okay, so that's the doors all sanded up now, all nice and smooth. So I'm gonna sort the holes out for the handles shortly. So we're gonna need, on the inside door, there's just a single hole for the handle, which I think is about 20 mil. And then on the lock side, obviously we're gonna have to rebate out for the handle and the lock, which is a Euro lock. In between that, just before I do that, I'm gonna actually just put a bit of filler on this exterior frame, because what we actually normally do is we actually glue it and then use a small headless torque screw just to hold that together and sort of tightens it up, because we haven't actually got any clamps that are sort of long enough, but also it just holds it together when we're transporting it. So I'm going to chuck a bit of filler on that, and then we shall get on with the doors. Right guys, so we just got a couple of things. So these are all sanded down now. So just looking at the latch lever, so this is actually going to go in here, and what I need to do is just set this up so I can get the hole for the handle to go through. It's pretty important that this is the same on both sides, and also that it's nice and square, otherwise the handle won't sit properly. A little bit more involved. These are just the ones we have in the workshop, so we've got some more arriving, but this one's a little bit more involved. So obviously you've got a slot for the Euro lock and this, so you need to get those two right. Just put some filler on this, so that's all going off. And then PJ's turned up before with some breakfast, which was well needed. And we're just getting the vent on the box there, so that'll go on shortly. Yeah, so all taking shape. Actually using a 25 bit, which actually gives a bit more clearance for the handle. When we show you that later on, when we've got the handle. So that's the handle and the lock routed out, the holes for. Got to be pretty precise with matching up both sides so it doesn't go on an angle. So that's both of those done. In a few minutes, we'll probably, what I normally do is get the frames, which PJ's working on, and just router out where the latches go in and set that up so we don't have to do that on site. This is the frame for the inner window. Just put a bit of 2-part filler on this about an hour ago, so it's a little bit of a hole there. So we'll give that a sand now, and then that'll be ready for painting. Yeah, so we'll get in there, aren't we, PJ?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all sanded up. See how that really goes together really nicely once it's glued up, and then we put a little tiny screw there. Keeps it all together. So then when we get on the job, we can literally just pin it on in one go. Also, the bit where there was a little bit of a knot there, a bit missing, it's all sorted. So that's going to be painted black. PJ's just doing the archy for the door frame, so the inner door frame, so just get that prepped. We won't put that together because we have to cut it down, don't we, Page?
Yes, because we don't know how far the floor is going to be below the door.
Yeah, plus it's a little bit hard to transport when it's glued together. So that one we're not too worried about, but this just saves you a bit of time. Right, let's crack on. Next job is going to be working on the acoustic panels. So as mentioned before, we've got 6 of the, I think they're about 125 by 65 in terms of the framing. That allows us to get a complete piece of rock wool in, which is 120 by 60, or even 120 by 60. Obviously we've got 3 bass traps as well, which are the corner variety. So this is the Lora, L-O-R-A fabric from Chimera. This is the range, so they do 32 different colours. So I think this one is this one here, which is the Lora fabric. And this is EJ187, just as a reference, but actually they do some really nice stuff. And this is acoustically transparent, so it allows sounds to pass through it, and then obviously the rock wool behind will deal with the frequencies and sort of dampening things down in the room. So we've got about 7 meters here. So first thing I'm going to do is just cut out some pieces of fabric. Obviously you can use any scissors. We actually have these Fisker scissors which we only use for the fabric, and these are really good. I've actually banned anyone using these for anything else, just for the fabric. So what I'm going to do now is just get these cut out into 6 sizable pieces, and then 3 pieces for the bass traps, and I'll start putting them together. Okay guys, so that's the fabric cut out. So we got 6 pieces for the main sort of panels, and then obviously 3 smaller pieces for the bass traps. We're just gonna actually have a little bit of lunch now, and then we shall get those done after lunch. Doors are pretty much done, just need painting. That's done with the window. PJ's actually done the frames in terms of just sanded those so they're nice and flat. And and we've obviously got a bit of archy to go on there. Again, that needs painting. I think he's done the down bits as well. There. So yeah, apart from painting, we're pretty much getting there. So we'll do the acoustic panels after lunch, and then bring you guys back once we're a bit further on. Right, so I've just shown PJ, he's never actually done one of these panels before. Have you done one once?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Back in the old basement days.
Back in the old days. So he's yeah.
Mess everything up first.
So we're gonna sort of, we'll just talk it through as we go. And then if anyone's doing their own panels, literally I've just kind of gone through the last panel I did, how I do it. I'm not saying that's exactly the way it should be done, but
So
obviously
we're going to use
so we've
the
got
best edges.
yeah. So what you got to do is, I think Jacob set these up, and what he tends to do is, because sometimes they're a bit rough, is he puts an X on the back. That's not to be used because sometimes you get like bits of knots and stuff that doesn't kind of look, or the timber's a little slightly bit different. So yeah, we use the smoother side because you are going to see it otherwise. So that's that on there. Nice.
Make sure you've got enough length.
So just checking each way.
More that way.
That's it.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yes.
So you now got 1 minute to complete the panel. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Just pulling it. This stage doesn't have to be actually too tight, does it? Because you can still pull it back. This fabric's a bit stretchy actually, but you can pull it a little bit that way. And even when you've done that bit, you can pull it this way and then the other way. So it's just about getting it nice and tight across the frame, really. That's it. That's one side. It's good to have a clean surface as well to work on, which we've got a bit of the old OSB. So on this one, again, start in the middle, isn't it? And then just pulling it a bit tighter. But yeah. So just pulling it as you go, isn't it? Doing well there, PJ?
Right. Am I going to be in the official training video?
It's like crafty panda, isn't it?
Crafty panda. I always wanted to be a haberdasherist. Is that what they're called?
I think so, yeah. Okay, so that's the sides. And so this is where you can really tighten it up. Let's just come around this other side here. So again, just pulling that so you can see that stretch in there. One in the middle. Oh, don't forget to pull those as you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Just did that for demonstration purposes.
Is it feeling nice and tight? That's it. And then cut the corners off, which is optional, but that's it.
Cut, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. Just kind of.
Those scissors.
Oh, Fiskars.
Get in for an ASMR shot. Listen.
Oh, yeah. Right, so let's see what you're doing with the corners here.
Okay. So, going like this. I'm going to go like that and tuck this part in.
Ooh.
Get it nice and flat here. Hopefully.
Don't forget he's never done this before, or once before. He's doing well. Okay, so what you're aiming to do is get that corner to go flat with here. To show you the best way of doing
Go
it.
on.
You just hold that camera there. You just get this. So the easiest way to do it is pull this back like there. Okay, so pull that bit tight so you get a nice edge. And then just come up with this bit. And then literally you're just adjusting it as you go. So it just goes like that then. Fire that in. And then what you want to do is just come back then here, pulling that tight. So pull that tight, like there. And then just bringing that up and just adjust it as you come back up. We were just saying we must have made maybe 1,500 to 2,000 panels. So you kind of get used to it. Right, your go. So what I'd say in this one is go a bit like, really this is where you want to go as tight as you can. Yeah, so you really sort of pull that and then then you don't get any creases or anything like that. So 1, 2. So just get 3 in and then go back the other way. Perfect. So Tom and Liv, if you're actually watching this, this is a special panel for you made by Mr. Williams.
From Wales with love.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So pull that tight, that's it.
Pull that tight. You had it up here, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you've got to sort of almost let that go a bit then, just to adjust it. So you basically, so if you go there,
I'm gonna fool myself on the internet.
it's so hard, isn't it? I can't.
We are.
So how did you do that? I
don't know.
It's like more
I
of
just
a.
did.
It's a feel.
I just did.
You pull that nice and tight there. Make sure that's straight.
Tighter.
That's it. Even if you put that straight and then you sort of compensate for it. That's it. Perfect.
What do we do with these spiders'
Right, you
legs?
just cut them off after. That's fine.
Spiders' legs. Can you say that on YouTube?
Strings. That's it. Right, other side.
Right, well, I'm right-handed, aren't I? So let's see. The mistake I was making, I pulled this tight here, and I tried to come from over here, and it wouldn't have it.
So it's not quite square,
But if you bring your hand around...
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, it's just making that corner nice and square, because that's potentially the bit that you might
You're going to see that, aren't you? Yeah.
So that's nice and square there. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll come back to you one sec, PJ, whilst you're finishing that. So the other thing is, just in terms of the brackets, we're literally just using these little, they're called sort of mending plates, I think. So obviously, once we've got the rock wool in, we can just sort of press that in. And then we've literally just got a screw top and bottom, which will fix it to the wall. You can get hidden brackets and things like that, but they take a bit more setting up, and obviously we don't tend to use them. We just use this system, but you don't really see them that much when they're on. You done there, Mr. Williams?
I am.
Let's inspect. Oh, look at that, beautiful. That's it, and I suppose the main thing is we have got a nice flat panel. Flat panel. So we get rock wool in there. And then obviously, as we said, this is acoustically transparent, so it'll let sound go through, and then the rock wool behind it will just sort of dampen down the sound so it doesn't reflect. Do that behind the panel, go. Ooh. Yeah, see, you can hear it exactly the same at the moment. Right, we'll carry on. Okay guys, that's all the panels sorted. We just need to put Rockwell in there, which will probably do tomorrow. Got all the brackets sorted. I think we're one bracket short. I think what I'm going to do now is get the latches routed out on the door frames, whilst PJ's cutting some tricoya strips around the window and the doors. But yeah, that's all taking shape, so we'll bring you guys back once we're a bit further on. Okay guys, so that's most of the stuff done. We've got all the panels sorted. We've got the window architrave done. Door frames are all routed out, so we've got all those ready to go. And also the hinge location, so when we put the frame in, we can just hang the door on site. What else have we done? Doors are all sanded. And what we might do tomorrow is actually fit the hinges and stuff once they've been painted. So really all we've got left to do tomorrow is just to paint everything. Obviously get this is going to be black, all the sort of skirting board, architrave and the door frames and the doors. So yeah, we'll get all those painted tomorrow and then we'll bring you guys back once we're back at the job in East London. So thanks for watching so far, and next time you see us, we will be in East London.